For my intro video.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek I Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek I.O. holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're of a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
He used the stones again.
Hey, we'd be going in short-handed, you know?
Look, he's still got the stones, so...
So let's get him. Use them to bring everyone back.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Even if there's a small chance that we can undo this, I mean, we owe it to everyone who's not in this room to try.
If we do this, how do we know it's gonna end any differently than it did before?
Because before you didn't have me.
Hey, new girl, everybody in this room is about that superhero life. And if you don't mind my asking, where the hell have you been all this time?
There are a lot of other planets in the universe. And unfortunately, they didn't have you guys.
This is the Geek I.O. Rant and Review with your host, CJ, Rachel, Raul, Gary, Josh, Jared, and everyone's favorite Aussie, Dale Campbell. This week, you get an Avenger, and you get an Avenger, and you get an Avenger, and you get an Avenger. Everyone gets an Avenger because we're talking about Avengers Endgame.
So we're only missing 2 of those people this time around, as opposed to like
almost right.
instead of like 4 of them. Hi, everybody, and welcome.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
Yes, and welcome to the Geek I.O. Show, episode number 293, our rant and review of Avengers Endgame. This is May 2nd, 2019. Well, before we get into any of these, because there's still a little bit of spoilers in our names, if you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, you literally have no warning. We are immediately going to be going into spoilers.
You have, this is your warning.
You do
Good
have
morning.
a warning.
This
It
is
is
your
here.
warning.
Yes.
Good morning, this is your warning.
Yeah, your warning is here. We are like literally my title. I have to say this is actually a spoiler. So if you haven't watched Endgame,
We know how
else you're gonna
Grayson
hate
feels
your life.
about spoilers.
Yeah,
Ant-Man's
right.
hungry.
You don't want to spoil a baby. Don't spoil a baby.
So I am CJ, dad bod of Thunderbolt.
I love that. I'm Australia's ass, aka Dale Campbell.
Oh, you got that right.
Mm-hmm.
On the bright side, I'm the one that's married to part of America's ass.
I'm
Only
Carrie.
part of it.
I'm Carrie. Eyes up here, Wilcox, like all the way up in the upper atmosphere.
And I'm on your left. I mean, Josh.
Drink to somebody playing by the wrong rules.
Wait, are you? Actually, on the stream, you are on my left, so that kind of
That's
works.
not the point. We don't pull quotes from movies on this one.
And then Josh is on CJ's bottom. Wait, what? Hang on, I'm trying to look at this. That doesn't
And
sound
on my
right.
left is an empty thing of soup.
Oh, on my left is my
was
microphone.
fast.
On my left is an empty bottle of Sakura soda.
What is on your left? Let us know in chat. I don't know.
Show at geek-io.net. Let us know what is on your left.
What is on your left?
Oh, man. So, yeah, again, we're talking Avengers Endgame. We all, literally, every single one of us saw this. And we all still, it was never not going to be a show. So,
I'm also just gonna put spoilers in that show title for no context. Like that is nothing to do with the movie. Like
so it was suggested that we do it this week by me because we were gonna do it next week, but hey, relevance. Also,
relevance. Well, that. Oh, sorry. No.
I didn't know we were going to be able to go see it this week because we have a newborn, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Oh.
So it's obviously still in theaters. Just came out on the 26th. So after the devastating Avengers, drink. All right, take two. After the devastating events of Avengers: Infinity War (parentheses 2018) and parentheses, the universe is in ruins. With the help of remaining allies, the Avengers assemble once more in order to undo Thanos' actions and restore order to the universe.
Wow.
I mean, let's not just point out the fact that this literally came out almost a year to the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they started filming it like 5 weeks after Infinity War wrapped. So while Infinity War was in theaters, this was being filmed.
It's insane.
Yeah, the entire schedule of this movie is just mind-blowing. But so we go over the main actors and actresses, but one, half of them are not there anymore, and two, it's everybody.
You already know who they are.
It is literally everybody.
Yeah. For the show notes, I put in the original Avengers because reasons.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to look at the credits and look at people who like have the lower credits, which we love. We love those people.
Yeah. Yeah. Avengers Endgame, starring the Chris's.
Starring the Chris.
So many Chris's.
Yes. Or Ken Jeong, who plays security guard.
It's Dr. Ken. Yeah, he's good. He's good stuff. He's a real funny dude.
Or for the 500 actors that played Scott Lang in the in that scene.
Yeah. So Robert Downey Jr. was the only cast member who read the entire film script. It's because freaking Tom Holland couldn't keep his goddamn mouth shut with Infinity War, so they were never going to give him what that was.
Also, I do like the real life callback there of in the first Avengers movie, Iron Man was the only one who read the reading that Nick Fury gave them.
That's awesome.
Like, probably wasn't intentional, but whatever. Sorry.
Yeah. Even though Captain Marvel was released 1 month before this film, Brie Larson shot her scenes for here first. Because she had a lot less hair in this one than she does in Captain Marvel. So,
yeah, interesting call out to the short-haired Captain Marvel from the comics.
Yeah, she rocks this look a hell of a lot better than the comic books do. Like, Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd were filming Ant-Man and the Wasp in this film at the same time. Oof.
Yikes.
Oof. That's rough, man.
Yeah, that's a lot to handle.
He never left that Ant-Man suit ever, except for when he was. It was his lunchtime. Was the scenes that he was filming outside of the Ant-Man suit for this movie? Like that was actually just his lunch break from between those.
That was his taco that he was eating. That was his actual lunch break.
Yes.
And look what happened there.
Since its introduction in Marvel Cinematic Universe, Chris Evans has appeared as Steve Rogers, Captain America, in one film a year, except for 2005, when he appears twice, 11 times appearing.
2015.
What did I say?
2005.
Oh, that too.
Well, you know.
Hey, Scott Lang's storage unit number is 616, which is the number of the Marvel Comics universe. It's fun. And oof. In the funeral scene, Morgan asks for a cheeseburger and Happy smirks, then says that her father loved cheeseburgers. This is a reference to fucking Dale. This is a reference to Buddy's father requesting an American cheeseburger upon arrival at the press conference after escaping from the cave in Iron Man.
Yep.
Or revival. That was my fault. I was dragging things around. So that was my bad.
I cried hard.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So we got quotes.
Yeah, all the
And-
quotes were either like dissertation length or one-liners, so I just picked all the one-liners.
Yeah, there was a lot of dissertation length like dialogue in this movie.
But like on the
Well,
IMDb
okay.
page in particular, like it's just like, okay, here's this entire scene and it's in the quote section. That's not what that section is for.
Welcome to
Thanks,
Marvel movies. It's like this podcast. It's either long dialogues or just all one-liners.
It's like this podcast. If I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
Oh.
Hey, Dale, you should probably take this next one.
I think you look great, Cap. As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass.
I say, if anybody is saying that line, it's going to be you.
And also, you're welcome, Chad. You've got that clip forever. Of me just saying, that's America's ass. Can we title this? Is that too much?
So, which one of the ladies wants to be Tony? Which one of the ladies wants to be Steve?
Let me...
Also, sorry, this next
Because
line
Josh has to do the last one because I can't, because Grayson's in the other room.
Okay. Do you trust me?
Rachel,
I can't get the thing open.
that's not how the line goes.
I love that line.
However, with that ad lib, Darling, you're not going to believe this. What? It won't open. What? Call the locksmith. And of course, the most EXT relevant quote from the movie. So many stairs!
Oh my god. I am living.
Oh man, Hulk versus Stairs was the best thing ever.
We were sitting there at the theater and that scene happened, and we all just kind of looked at each other. Is there someone at Marvel who watches EXT?
Hulk plus stairs equals nightmare? Question mark?
Also,
I'm confused.
I do want to call slight bullshit on that Doctor Strange quote. Because
yes, he does tell him later.
Well, not only that, but we don't follow the established baseline for time travel through all of these fantastic movies that were mentioned in that scene, but quantum measurement of a reality is a thing?
Yeah, apparently.
Apparently. It's a new dimension of time travel.
It is. It's a very interesting very interesting look on time travel in this.
Right.
So before I get super deep in this, because there's some very deep things that I want to talk about in this. Let's talk about the fun things in this movie first.
Like America's ass.
Or I can do the deep things I want to discuss first, whichever we want to do.
Let's have fun with it first.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Was you gonna say something, Carrie?
I was gonna say let's have fun with it first.
Okay.
Let's geek out.
So I mean, Hulk and Stairs was just yes.
Yeah, Hulk. One of my takeaways was Hulk plus stairs equals nightmare? Question mark.
Yeah. Like the entirety of the time travel bits were fantastic.
They were good. One thing that I did take away from it though is, of course, they had to do the Avengers New York scene first. Like it would have been so strange if they didn't do that first. And of course,
no, that one was later.
Oh, that too.
The Strange was later.
The Strange was later, right?
They went to New York a few times.
Yeah,
they went to New York a few times. But I'm talking about when they jump back to get the stones, like that first big, like, let's go back to 2012 where it all started. That adventure.
Yeah. So Hulk in general was my favorite, like non-serious thing in this entire movie between old Hulk and Professor Hulk. Oh my God.
Professor Hulk is my favorite. No, actually, yeah, my favorite is Hulk taking selfies in the diner. That's my favorite Hulk.
Fucking Mark Ruffalo just eating up everything in this entire movie.
He is just.
Do we know which Hulk that's supposed to be canonically?
I think it's like based on the comic book ones.
Well, because I know there's multiple Hulks. There was an entire comic series.
Yeah, there's
dedicated to Banner's DID. But I had been going into the movie hoping to see some Joe Fixit action, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, sadly, I think this is the one that becomes Maestro eventually. Because that is Maestro's backstory, is combining the two of them together.
Yeah.
For those who nobody's going to know on this one who that is, that's super evil Hulk.
No.
Ooh.
He turns out he does it originally because of kind of a similar thing to this, which is he combined the two of them because, hey, why would I not want my chocolate and my peanut butter together? And eventually he gets an Infinity Gauntlet and it goes to his head, and he eventually, in one of the time frames, literally kills everybody in the universe except for him and just sits and rules over it for eternity.
So essentially he out Thanos' Thanos.
Yeah, he actually murders Thanos, takes his Infinity Gauntlet in that universe, and
power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Right.
My favorite Hulk though was probably just the
Dude, you should do some smashing on the way. Really? It's getting old.
I do the thing.
I think my favorite time travel hop though was them watching Peter Quill during the opening to Guardians, except they cut away to where you can't hear the music and you just see what everybody else in universe would see.
It's the Guardians of the Galaxy intro, music without music.
Yes.
So he's an idiot.
No, there's music.
Nebula is too real.
There's music. The music is him singing loudly and off key the way people do when they have headphones in and don't realize everyone else can hear them.
Yep.
Well, I mean, in his defense, he thought that he was on the planet by himself.
Yeah.
This is true. Plus, also, I sing like that without headphones in, so there's that. So.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Like obviously, you know, they had some serious parts in there, like Hulk talking to the Ancient One, which is fantastic. Seeing Tilda Swinton back.
Oh
like,
my God!
I love her so much, and seeing her back as the Ancient One, and then just again, Hulk, man, just getting the shit beat out of you, regardless of who you're facing lately.
Literally, and that line of "well, you don't want to go that way. We just polish the floors." Really? Nope, you're not going that way. Just no. You cannot do that at all.
I mean, this entire bit was obviously a love letter to the last 10 years and 22 movies or something like that. Like,
right.
Because obviously you have, and it's kind of the things that people poked at during the run of them. You had Thor doing the whole Thor Dark World thing, which is one thing I want to talk about later. I don't want to talk about that yet. Aside from, man, Rocket and Thor, Bradley Cooper and Thor have so good screen chemistry, even when Bradley Cooper is a CG raccoon.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Rocket was not the butt monkey in this movie.
Yes.
That they actually gave
Tony
him
out on his shit. Hey, you're only a genius here.
They're a genius here.
Yeah,
oh
but
my God,
Rocket, being showing off that he is legitimately a genius too. Like he's up there, if not further than Tony and Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Banner.
Banner, right? Hulk Banner.
'Cause
Same thing. Really.
That was the Science Squad. Was those three? But people call him. They cast him as the Butt Monkey, but he like invents weapons on the fly all the time, which takes a very intense level of knowledge. Like,
well,
right.
let's not forget that he was the one that was like, "Oh nope, you don't want to touch that. That'll explode."
Yeah, and but like the way that he's portrayed in this movie versus the Guardians movies, which are much, they do have a very different vibe to them. Rocket is a lot more nuanced in this one, and he has his depth shows much more easily, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Also, sidebar, and I know this is going to be a weird tangential thing, it's probably only a me thing, but watching A Star is Born, it's a good movie, you should watch it. And then seeing Rocket Raccoon in this movie is such a weird juxtaposition because, he was basically like, I don't want to call him a butt monkey in like Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was like,
no, that's entirely
dumbed down a lot, and then he like stepped up into a new level. What happened between the two movies? A Star is Born. Prove me wrong. A weird observation.
Yes, and
yes, and
also realize he's had 5 years between losing his best friend and his family.
Oh yeah. Oh my god,
to
the time hop too.
Build himself up to a point where he is able to be this really ridiculously intelligent character. And not that like CJ pointed out, it's not that he wasn't intelligent. He was just the comedy relief of the intelligent ones.
Well, I mean,
because he was the ass end of all the jokes because he's a fucking raccoon.
Well, he's even the smartest one of the Guardians. It's just how he is portrayed in those movies, which, like Carrie said, is very, very tonally different than these. That Guardians is a comedy movie first. Both Guardians movies are comedy movies first, then Marvel action movies.
Yes.
Right.
So everybody has to be amped up to, up to 11. So Rocket Raccoon, as opposed to being able to shine for the weapons master that he is kind of forced to be the butt monkey. You have the only one who's able to is the straight man, ironically, Gamora, who is, allowed to be her badass self in those movies. But even Drax, who is he's a barbarian, basically. He's a berserker, but he's never really gets to shine that in the Guardians movies, which he has to pretend where he has to be the idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see him in the final battle of this movie, he's just ripping dudes apart. Like, it's just like Rocket's as smart as Tony and Banner. Drax is stronger than probably anybody on the original Avengers team minus Hulk. He might be up there with Thor. Maybe hammerless Thor, but Thor nonetheless.
Right.
Well, in terms of physical capabilities, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not magical, which Thor gets a lot of his from. But yeah, he's physical pound per pound. I would imagine that he is up there with Thor.
And let me tell you, Thor had a lot in this movie. Okay, there's that.
No, Thor's so we had to poke at everybody, saying, because everybody in Infinity War, one of the biggest criticisms for Thor was we come off of Thor Ragnarok, which is a laugh riot. Everybody's funny. Everybody's just eating up everything to a point where he is forced into being so serious. It was a hard break.
It was.
And again, with good reason, but you're coming off of this roller coaster of Ragnarok and you just slam into this wall of Thanos.
Well, that's part of why he has the arc that he did, and I kind of hate that his struggles were played for laughs.
But also, I placed things. I kind of didn't ignore what happened in Thor Ragnarok, But going into this movie, I kind of less looked at it from the solo perspective and looked at it from, well, not obviously watching all the Marvel movies in between Infinity War and Endgame, but kind of looking at the Avengers as their own sort of things, if that makes sense. Like the entirety, like comparing Endgame to Infinity War itself, and kind of looking at the events there. But also, all of that's placed behind the time hop, like literally hopping 5 years ahead of time.
Which, by the way, love the first 10 minutes of the movie. Thanos is this unbearable, overpowering god in the first movie, and he's dead. Like, the Thanos of Infinity War is flat out dead.
I love
in
that
the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Love that twist.
That was a huge shock.
I loved that so much.
Also,
I
Tony,
loved it, but where the hell did it come from?
The secrets of the darkness.
On your left.
On your left.
I
From
love
your head.
Tony and Nebula floating in space, and Captain Marvel just shows up like, "Sup, guys."
Yeah.
Hi.
And then landing on Earth, like, "Hey guys, I found your shopping cart. You guys misplaced something."
Did you misplace something? I found it. You might need this later.
Here. There's this weird guy in here. He smells funny. But so okay, we'll get Thor is a very big thing that I want to talk about when we start getting serious for this. So yes, these things were played for laughs. We'll get to the nuance of that when we get to there.
Yes. We kind of just started digging ourselves a little nest.
Yeah, like there's a lot of nuanced things in this movie that I really want to talk about, but I want to have fun, enjoy it, and geek out over this movie, like Carrie said, because this is the biggest, geekiest movie of all time.
Okay. Do we want to actually, no, I suppose this could be taken seriously too. Do we want to talk about, and I know it has probably not, well, it has something to do with movie. Do we want to talk about the end credit situation? Do we want to talk about that real quick?
What, the no end credit scene?
The no end credit scene.
You didn't have to.
The Easter egg was nice. I appreciated it for what it was. I know no one else in the movie theater did, but I did. But there's that.
So which Easter egg?
The no, well,
like
right at the end where you hear the noises of Iron Man building his first suit. Right, like literally right at the end. Everyone's like, "Oh, nothing happened." I'm like, you should pay attention.
No, because those people don't pay attention. They wanted a scene of like Thanos's arm popping up from another Thanos's arm popping up. Like,
or more shawarma.
Yeah, more shawarma. Which, by the way, speaking of Avengers movies and having an Avengers canon, you realize what was not referenced at all in this entire movie? Get fucked of Age of Ultron.
Actually, no.
Yeah, no, it was
referenced.
A suit of armor around the world.
CJ. There was one.
Yeah.
Reference.
Tony mentions why he wanted a suit of armor around the world when they're doing the time travel thing.
But I agree. One reference. Actually, you could argue.
Not even Wanda referenced it. Like,
actually, where did Captain America's first encounter with the hammer happened in Ultron, didn't it?
Yes, but that is a reference. That is because they didn't bring it up. Like, they didn't bring up like, "Oh, you were worthy" when you tried picking it up in New York that one time.
That one time in New York.
Like, that's what I would count as that's what I would call as a reference, as opposed to a callback, which is just him being fully worthy.
Well, this is me literally stretching my arm from here to the other side of the world to get to that.
I feel you.
But
on that note, that fight cinematography.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was beautiful.
You only get a handful of fights in this movie, because you have to lead up to the big one. So you can't have your fight scenes be overly massive. And then the finale of that entire
the
fight.
ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny.
Yes. Oh my god. So I think I'm the only person on this one that watches Fate Stay Night. First thing that all the wizard holes pop up, it's an anime, for the record.
Thank you.
You've watched it, Rachel. It's where Rin Tosaka's from.
Oh, I
Don't
know.
even. And you actually liked Unlimited Blade Works. But like all of the wizard holes open up, and I'm like, holy fuck, Gilgamesh just showed up.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That didn't work, and then suddenly you see the spiral thing. But I have
So many wizard holes.
Anyone who regularly watches our / listens to our rant and reviews knows that I'm going to be the one to bring this up. The girl power lineup.
Oh yeah.
I actually teared up in the theater. Actually, finally seeing all the ladies of Marvel lined up, and yes, I've heard people say, yeah, it was kind of forced. Yeah, it was kind of pandering. And maybe it was a little bit, but it was also, number one, fucking overdue. Number two, fucking brilliant.
Yes.
And I saw a comment in the Discord earlier, geek-io.net/Discord, where they're like, oh, well, they never do a lineup of all the guy heroes. Yes, they do. It's called the defaults of the movies.
Marvel movie.
You know what I'm saying? That's
it
literally
is the default.
The Avengers.
Like,
Look it
go
up. It's in
back
the book.
just to the last movie, before the big fight when everybody's in freaking Wakanda. All the guys are lined up. Hello.
Yeah, that is
All
the
the guys are lined
default.
up.
So finally getting to see all of the ladies and seeing all of them together.
Well,
no, we'll get there.
Except for our fridge friend.
Yeah. Almost all
The
of
women of
them
Marvel.
together.
fucking droopy dog. All right, so first of all, fuck Hawkeye. I'm fucking done with fucking Hawkeye.
Okay, CJ,
Sorry.
we are the same person. I walked out of the movie theater crying.
Can Carrie finish her point first?
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah. But that is what we need. That's what we've needed from the beginning of the MCU, and that's what I hope we'll get more of going forward, so that, not only we, Rachel and I, and Monica and Ashley and everyone else can see all the ladies together, but so Kia can grow up seeing that. So any daughters Josh and I have in the future can grow up seeing that. To see that.
She yelled out loud at that, by the way.
Good.
And so did Aaron. Like both my kids were so happy to see the lineup of ladies. Like
the fact that the 8-year-old boy was like, hot damn girl power.
Yeah, that just shows what awesome kids you guys are raising.
I'm like, oh my God, that's my kid.
But Kia just yelled out loud, and I'm like, that makes me happy.
Yeah, because growing up playing Power Rangers, playing superhero, I only had one choice, and that's if I had any choice at all, because I was one of those girls who was raised, oh, you don't want to watch X-Men, honey, that's for boys.
Yeah.
And finally seeing, yes, superheroes are for girls too, look at all of them, was fucking magical, and I did cry in the theater over that.
Yeah, and just as anybody who keeps, just as a reminder to everybody else, they put in that as well, those women are pretty much the strongest people there too. Like between Captain Marvel, Valkyrie, and on the magical, like super powered level, you had the strongest fighter, one of the strongest fighters there in Okoye, like, and then the technological genius that is Shuri, like,
and Pepper in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, you got the rescue suit back, and that made me so fucking happy.
Hey,
look, Iron Man 3 got more references than Age of Ultron.
I wish
Age of Ultron.
Couple of things with that. I wish we'd have gotten some cleaner shots of the rescue suit in action. And number two, I can't wait for 10 years from now in phase whatever gajillion of the MCU where Morgan puts that suit on.
Yes.
Or makes her own.
Yeah, I am very excited to see the next generation of, and I'm not just talking about the next phases. Like, I want to see Morgan go up to Shuri and be like, "Hey, teacher, I need an iron suit."
Or hey, Peter
and Hope Van Dyke. Yeah, like
Hope and Dyke, right?
So
sadly, Wasp, while she's a badass, didn't really get much. She had such a small part in a movie named after her.
I do love how everybody else had all these really dramatic reunions, and then Ant-Man or Wasp were just like, "Sup."
Sup?
That's yeah.
Love
And I'm
it.
glad they didn't try and make it like super romantic over the top for them. Just like,
Well, I mean, for
that's
that,
no friends.
I mean, because at least for Scott, it hasn't necessarily been that long. It was only been 5 hours since he saw her. So,
and Hope didn't know any time either. So, you know, for them, it was like them having romance, just it wouldn't work, like that romantic moment. Yeah, it wouldn't work for them. Unlike Scott and his daughter, like Cassie. Oh my God.
That I died.
And watching him, like the first person he goes to on that board is Cassie. And I'm like, that, yes. Because Ant-Man is nothing else but a father first.
I was to say, I do love all the shots of dads being dads in this movie.
Right? Fucking Tony, of all people, being a dad. Like
an actual dad and not just a biological father.
Yeah.
Right.
Like even Hawkeye being a dad to his kids. Like no, that was sweet.
I will give you that. That I will give you. I will give you nothing else but that.
I am a little sad that his daughter is not named Kate. To at least Hawkeye's daughter is not named Kate, so we could at least get when she picks up the Hawkeye mantle, which he calls her Hawkeye.
Right.
We don't have Kate in the Hawkeye role.
But yeah, things that we need more of
West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, things we need more of in the in movies in general. The ladies kicking ass and sharing the main spotlight, and men being allowed to be sensitive, be fathers, have feelings and relationships that are not punching and fucking.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see
you.
You
can stay on the porch as long as you don't chop. You can stay for lunch as long as you don't have.
As long as
yeah. I'm
glad to see you. You can stay. Stay on the porch.
Tony just being like, "Hey, it's nice to see you guys. I'm not a superhero anymore. I'm a dad, but you guys are welcome to food because that's him."
Yeah. After so long, he finally found, his priorities, and he wasn't going to give it up.
Yeah, like that was his entire thing. The entire movie was literally, I'll help fix what's wrong, but if it's for a moment is going to start costing me what I've created in these 5 years, I'm out. Like, and see, one of my biggest issues in Infinity War was Pepper being the nagging wife for whatever reason, which I didn't understand her in Infinity War at all. It made me so happy that in this one, she's like, no, I'm not a nagging housewife. I'm in this with you. I know who you are. I know what you can do. I know what you will do. Let's stop playing around and just get to work.
Right.
Like, because her yelling at him, like going up into space and things like that made zero sense as a character for her in Infinity War.
It doesn't at the same time.
She knew what she had. Like, once she realized that he still had the arc generator, she knew what was going on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. But
she may not have been happy for it, but you get off of that world-ending spaceship and get down here right now? No. That's not her. That's never been her.
But CJ, look at how old the daughter is.
Yeah, she's not a 5-year-old girl.
Do you think maybe
she may have been hormonal? Possibly.
And here she is faced with the possibility she may not have told him yet, because some women don't say anything until they've reached that 12 to 13 week mark when you're out of the first trimester. Shit. I almost didn't tell you because
Also, it's Tony, so yeah, having him be I can imagine that when he's pregnant, like him being building everything around her to make sure that she is never in any harm, but also not in any interaction with anything.
Yeah.
Because it's Tony.
Iron bubble.
Yeah.
What do you want to bet that she was like that because she was pregnant and just hadn't said anything to Tony?
I could see that.
It's feasible.
That's
Let's
feasible.
face it, as CJ will tell everybody,
Thanks,
there
yeah.
are definitely hormones that happen.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to talk about a couple of the little things that I found particularly entertaining in the movie, but
yeah,
go for it.
Sir, we got a package for you. Bring it on up. We can't. It's kind of glowing. Some of the guys don't feel too great. Did you open it?
Were we supposed to?
Were we supposed to?
Watching young Hank Pym fucking haul ass under the assumption that some guy in shipping fucked up.
Yep.
And, of course, our boy, our sweet cinnamon roll. Peter's just so happy to be there.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Remembers
He's
being
so
snapped out
excited.
of existence, and now he's back and everything's okay, and he gets his hug.
Yes. His
gets
dad
his
is
hug.
there. Also, Peter, not great with dads, turns out.
Mm.
But he still got it, was the thing.
0 for 3 there, buddy.
And,
I'm sorry.
and all of the badass ladies.
Oh my
It's like,
god.
oh, he's such a cute little puppy. You hurt him, you're dead.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I love how they portrayed him still being childlike, because all of the ladies who were helping him, "Hi, I'm Peter, nice to meet you." And then when the missiles start coming down, you actually see a brief shot of him through the smoke, curled up on the ground, trying to shield himself.
Yes.
And that makes sense. He's still a little kid, but he is an adorable cinnamon roll. And I just, like Josh pointed out after we watched it, Carol's reaction to him introducing himself to her, where he's just like, "Hi." And she's just like,
she's like,
"Oh,
you were just
you're
the cutest
adorable."
thing. Hi,
So
Peter
one
Parker.
thing one thing that actually makes me happy: the passing of the shield.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I knew Dale would be
Going
shook
back
by
and forth on this for
Steven.
months. We knew that
Okay.
Cap was gonna, he has to retire.
We'll
His
get to
contract is
that.
up.
Right. And that's what this felt like. It felt like a retirement.
Well,
in a
that's
way.
that's 1000% what it was.
Right. It didn't. Well,
Also, Chris Evans' contract was up, and he didn't want to redo it.
I mean, this is true, and I get that. And Chris Evans has other
Yeah, I
projects.
mean, they got Fantastic Four movies to make.
Exactly. Oof.
He's got other directorial things that no one watches except for me, but that's not the point. Chris Evans does. But also, like that whole scene, and this is probably one thing we can get into when we're talking about deeper stuff, is that was just such an impactful scene, and I'm like, thank God he. It's more so thank God he didn't die, because I walked into the movie thinking that he would die.
Oh, I was fully set that he was going to die. SKR BBLZ says, "I wish Bucky got it. Movie Bucky has not earned it at all.
Mhm.
Like movie Bucky has in no way, shape, or form earned the shield."
And when
did
you
Bucky
consider the level of success that they had with a black superhero recently,
Did Bucky ever have the shield in the comics? Because I know Falcon was
Yes.
Captain America.
Yeah, Bucky was the first non-Steve Rogers Captain America.
Right.
So when Cap went off and became Nomad, which was referenced in Civil War / Winter Soldier, Bucky was around. He was the Winter Soldier, but eventually they needed another Captain America, and Bucky was the only one around to really take up the mantle because he knew Steve the best.
Right.
And then we got Falcon involved later on after weird shit happened with Captain America and time travel and Hydra and bullshit.
Oh yeah.
And bullshit.
The Russos and that very subtle trolling with the Hail Hydra.
Oh yeah, man. Because
yeah.
that was a big stickler in the comics. Is Captain America was actually a Hydra agent.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the Russos fucking around with you on that one. Yeah, just having Cap say Hail Hydra, because at this point he doesn't give a fuck. Cap has seen Hydra dead. Like, he doesn't even care.
Yeah, and I mean, and he was an operative in World War II. Like, he was just stealthing in to complete a mission.
Yeah, whatever it takes, as they kept saying over and over and over and over. I thought that was gonna be trailer magic, that they were only gonna say that. Nope.
No, it's all throughout the movie, and I fully expected that Imagine Dragons just song to start playing. Like, I expected that.
If this was a Guardians of the Galaxy only movie, yes.
They would have forced that in there. But again, that whole scene, and I'm actually kind of glad it played out the way it did. Like, Cap got his first dance with Peggy.
Oh my god.
That, like, it, I don't want to say it undid a few things, but it was one of those things where it's just like, I'm glad that we finally, like, that got played out in its entirety.
Yeah, that arc, I'm so glad got played to its end.
Mm-hmm.
Because him and Sharon, which is what they referenced in Winter Soldier.
Yes.
I'm wanting to say
that wasn't at the end of First Avenger, was it?
No.
It would have been Winter Soldier then.
Yeah, it was either Age of Ultron or Winter Soldier. Those two movies.
It would have been Age of Ultron, because that was the thing.
Well, Cap had some parts in that, not a ton, but that was primarily an Iron Man joint. Slash Hawkeye again. Oh my god. So I'll give Hawkeye something. The Ronin costume is badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that haircut though.
Yeah, but the Ronin costume looked really fucking good.
It just annoyed me how he wiped the blood off of one side of his sword before sheathing it and not the other side.
Also, on the haircut, he just lost 50% of it.
Oof. Oof.
He lost 50% of something else. Anyway, moving on.
No, he lost 100% of everything else. Poor guy.
And that was why he snapped.
Yeah, no,
that
arc is completely understandable. That arc of him going batshit, I completely get. I hate Hawkeye.
I hate Hawkeye too.
Completely understandable. Everything was ripped from him, and he didn't know what was going on with it. He was not involved with it at all, as they showed. He was just chilling out in a freaking having a barbecue with his kids and his wife, and all of a sudden, Velma and baby Hawkeye are all just gone. Also, Velma.
But who has ketchup and mayonnaise on a hot dog?
Ketchup and mayonnaise are okay.
Ketchup and mayonnaise. Was it ketchup and mayonnaise, or was it ketchup and mustard?
It was mayonnaise and mustard.
Mayonnaise and mustard. Thank you. That's what that was.
I mean, I'm allergic to mustard, so the instant that brings up this, like, that's a monster move. Oh, and I guess people actually enjoy that. But fuck mustard, though.
Fuck mustard, though.
Because I'm like Carrie on shrimp, her thinking shrimp are dicks. Mustard is the devil.
Shrimp are dicks. Pulling it back.
The fight was slightly overdrawn. The final one?
No, he's talking about the Hawkeye versus Natasha.
The Hawkeye Natasha thing. I mean, I okay. CJ and I are the same person in this movie theater, because I literally, apart from the first scene, which yes, I will give you that the family values Hawkeye stuff is, yes, that was impactful, and oh my god, it like came out of nowhere. That I'll give you. Everything else Hawkeye related is the worst thing in movie existence.
So he seems to do that in all the movies, though. Like, he always has this part where there's no reason why he should survive any of the Avengers movies.
He's so dumb.
Like, and he always makes stupid mistakes. Like,
okay, in his defense, though, like,
he's an idiot.
I like how Dale is like, oh, Hawkeye is the stupidest, and then immediately goes into defending him.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my thing of playing devil's advocate, though. Like, that's my thing. But also,
But
I
not, and again, I go back to earning it.
Mhm.
Like movie Bucky never earned the shield. Admittedly, it's because movie Bucky hasn't really had a lot of screen time. And hopefully they change that with new Cap and Bucky. Hopefully he's able to, Sebastian Stan's an amazing actor. And what little we see of movie Bucky is really good. But
Right.
he never earned the shield like Falcon did. But movie Hawkeye never earned being the hero, not like Natasha. Natasha has risked life and limb and damn near died over it, making intelligent choices since Iron Man fucking won.
Movie Hawkeye is, I gotta say it, movie Hawkeye is the worst character out of all.
By and far.
By and far. Like there's not even a challenge for that. And that whole scene about the Soul Stone, I was just screaming at the movie screen the whole time. Like,
what bothered me about that scene is the point of being a superhero is heroes save everybody.
Yeah.
They don't even try to come up with another way or to do something to get the Soul Stone that doesn't involve one of them dying. They're just like, oh, okay, time to jump off a cliff now.
Yeah.
Like, what about the fact that they're returning the Soul Stone the moment that it was retrieved?
Yeah, exactly.
What about the fact? Like, what about the fact that they're correcting the timeline here?
Yeah, couldn't Red Skull 2.0 be like, yeah, maybe?
Yeah, like they negotiated.
That's kind of what you get when you have two emotionally driven people in there. Because Natasha, since she started opening up in the Avengers movies, is a lot more emotionally driven. And Hawkeye, there's literally nothing but emotion there because he has nothing. He has no intelligence. So
this is where you get the point. So this is where you get the two of them fighting over who gets to commit suicide, right? And tell my family I love them. Tell them yourself. And that's where you switch into, okay, we're doing this together.
Yeah, exactly. Not continuing to fight one another, which, I mean, I guess is at this point just a trope that the heroes in any Avengers movie have to have at least one fight. And this was a fight between heroes.
I guess.
The closest.
The other thing that really bothers me about that scene is, yeah, they were really great friends, but I don't think either of them would have met the requirements for the Soul Stone sacrifice for each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Natasha on a greater level. I believe.
What, Natasha sacrificing Hawkeye because she felt closer to him than
yes.
her? Because
for Hawkeye to be able to get the Soul Gem, he would have had to throw one of his family members off the cliff like Thanos did.
Yeah,
exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's what screamed in my head too. Like, there's never been an establishment that those two are that close. Maybe Natasha to Hawkeye, but not vice versa.
Right,
Natasha
that's what I mean.
Hulk or Hulk to Natasha, maybe.
Oh my god, if that was Natasha and Hulk, I feel like I would have died. Like I would have actually melted into a puddle.
I never liked the force shipping of those two. I thought it was weird and awkward.
Oh, Hulk and Natasha?
Yeah, like I love them as friends, but whatever was going on between them in Age of Ultron, like trying to force that romantically.
It was Age of Ultron.
It was Age of Ultron.
Haha, I stand by my rating and my review of Age of Ultron. Go back and listen to it. I'm right. Anyway, that's a weird.
The Marvel movie that Dale's been down on that has actually been accurate.
It's a weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but I'll take it.
Speaking of weird flex, but we'll take it. That Cap v Cap fight.
Oh my god, two of America's finest.
I could do this all day. I know.
Oh, I know.
I do love how past Cap immediately goes, oh, there's Loki, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Which, by the way, I loved that because Chris Evans' stunt double, I believe, I don't know if that's the case in this movie, but a lot of the times in the previous Avengers movie, it was actually his brother.
Yes.
That would make a lot of sense that That literally was the two Evans brothers fighting each, like having a play fight.
That would have been. I sincerely hope that's the case. It's just those two like
Actually, I
needing
looked
to
that
get out
up.
some sibling rivalry amongst each other just to beat the shit out of me. That was not scripted. That was just both of them in costume being like, all right, we need to settle this.
If that's the case, then we need a between takes shot of them reenacting the get help scene.
The Evans brothers recreate Get Help.
Oh my god, yes. Get Shield.
Get Shield, yes.
But that was a fantastically scripted fight, and then yeah, him looking down. That is America's ass.
That is America's ass. Oh, my microphone.
I looked at Rachel during the theater. I'm like, this is Dale's scene right here.
You just imagine the look on my face when I did that. And I was like,
just the look on his face is as he's like he knocks his older self out, looks down. That is America's ass.
Also, Cap using a little bit more language.
I really, 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 really wish when Cap went, shit, when he saw a young Cap didn't go language.
Language.
That would have been
Can
3
someone
call
tell
on
me
stage.
why they kept saying obscenities to kids?
Yeah, Cap's swearing at children in this movie, man.
Ant-Man did it. Cap did it. I wanted to beat them both.
Yeah, Ant-Man and Cap swearing at children.
What happened here? Well, shit. Really? We're cursing at kids? You're wondering why this child's not answering at you, Ant-Man? Duh.
I do love Ant-Man in the diner. Stick the goddamn phone.
I'm trying to find it.
One thing that actively angered me. The fuck is up
Hawkeye.
with Korg playing Fortnite 5 years into the fucking future?
I thought that was
Does
great.
Fortnite survive the snapping? There's no way in fucking hell Fortnite survives the snapping.
There's still 12-year-olds in 2024.
Hey Siri.
Yeah, but it's still Fortnite. Like, it
And
has
there's
to be
still 12-year-olds.
Oops. Hey Siri. Is Fortnite going to be popular in 5 years? Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find out what you're talking about. Shut up.
What would you like to convert into pounds?
Like that irritated me. Like that product placement really irritated me.
I did like the scene in and around that though.
Yeah, New Asgard I loved.
Oh yeah.
New Asgard was great. The thing that actively angered me in this movie, can we stop playing the fat guy for laugh cards?
So, okay. All right. Yes, and like I told Carrie earlier, yes, and. So Thor obviously not taking everything well at all. He's pretty much just been beaten down on in most of his movies.
He blames himself because he didn't go for the head.
Yeah, he blames himself because he didn't go for the head. He blames himself for his mom. He blames himself for Asgard. He blames himself for Loki. He blames himself for Heimdall. He blames himself for the Avengers. Like in general, like he blames himself for Ultron even, because he mentioned that in I think he mentioned it once in Ragnarok. He's shouldered because this is what he was raised to do. Yes, father, he was raised to shoulder the blame for everybody. And because at this point, it's been 5 years of peace, there's nobody else to kill. There's nobody else to hide behind. He has to confront his own demons and face them. And he doesn't know how to do that. He was never raised to do that. He was raised to be a warrior. There's nobody left to fight except for your own demons. And that's a fight he's losing.
Yeah, and the fact that he's losing it is not a fucking joke.
I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be unpopular.
I deal with a lot of depression issues myself. And most of the time that when I am very depressed, I am going to laugh. I'm going to make more jokes. I am going to put up as big of a front as I can as to not have anybody else ask me the dreaded question, are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that's different from the camera pointing a finger at Thor going, ha ha!
I actually, okay, again, this is going to be very unpopular, but I actually didn't mind. I don't want to say it like this now, but I didn't mind the fat version of Thor. I thought to me that it was very relatable in a way, if that makes sense. Like it was, and I understand that yes, they played it to the comedy point to where yes, it would seem that they're pointing at the camera and laughing, but it's real on a lot of levels. And like it's yes, it's not acceptable to point and laugh at someone in that state, but unfortunately, for comedic purposes, that's where the line still is in comedy, is to point at someone like that and make jokes of it. And what didn't help Matt as much was Thor was making some of the jokes at one point.
Yeah, like, and
so
that's
that
where I
also
found it
didn't
more
help.
relatable than actively distracting.
Right.
Like, I felt because, and yes, again, we're talking about a superhero movie where things are scripted. I felt him putting up the wall and making the jokes on himself, that felt more relatable than insulting to me. Unlike where I see like Jack Black playing the fat man in all of his things, or Melissa McCarthy playing the fat woman in all of her things, strictly for laughs, that they are fat only because of laughter.
Yes, and that's the key difference in this movie, is the fact that Thor is still a superhero. Yes, he's literally, and this was brought up in the chat, is that yes, he's literally lost everything except for his hammer.
And like the progression of his arc makes sense. It makes sense for him to fall into that state. That's natural. And it's also natural for him to use humor as a defense mechanism. But for a movie that is so nuanced in other ways, maybe have a little bit more sensitivity to that, because the way it was portrayed, like Josh was saying, is that Thor's depression, Thor's, changes in his health is nothing but funny. The way it was staged and the way the cameras were and things around it, and I'm not talking about him making jokes at his own expense, because that's fine. That's his choice to do that. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about the way we were directed to watch this. It's like the Russos were saying, "Hey everybody, look at Thor and laugh at him."
I will agree with that. The framing could have been handled a little differently. It's the framing that's a bit bizarre in a lot of this. And
it's the framing and it's the timing. Keep in mind, this is the exact same movie where we got a girl power scene that brought Carrie to tears.
Right.
And here we are body shaming a guy, which is just as important in society to get rid of.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guys can be insecure as well, and it doesn't help that the vast majority of superheroes are built like Norse gods.
Yeah.
The fact that the way we choose to display Thor going through a rough patch of his life is to make him like the rest of us overweight Americans is not cool in my book.
I don't know. I saw it more of a handling, how he handles everything, how he handles loss, because again, toxic masculinity included, he doesn't know anything else other than to eat and fight and fuck. And two of those things are pretty much gone.
But they could have handled that with more respect.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying that unfortunately from an entertainment point of view and from the framing point of view, that's where a lot of it is. And again, it didn't help that Thor was making half the jokes at that point. I mean, it would have been a different story if he wasn't being self-deprecating. That's the word I was looking for. Like if he wasn't being self-deprecating and it was literally everyone pointing at him and laughing, then maybe it would be, in my books at least, would be a little bit different.
Yeah, because I think the only other person who was really like constantly beating on him about that was Rocket. Outside of himself was strict, because like Hulk, Professor Hulk showed up, and by the way, I love Big Hulk in the back of a tiny truck. That was great.
And the sparks.
Yes.
Sparks.
Like Hulk was like, "Hey, you've changed," and then once he starts talking to him, "Oh, okay, we are not going to look at this."
But yes, the framing could have been handled differently. But
yeah, like if
again,
they
I'm
had
sorry.
just handled the framing with more respect and had him making those jokes about himself, it would have been a lot better, because that's an organic portrayal of somebody trying to put up those shields.
Fair, but also we jumped forward 5
By the
years.
way, the Noob Killer 38 play Fortnite.
Play Fortnite.
Nice.
Yep. That's the name of this episode. Is just play Fortnite. Just no content. Play Fortnite. Spoilers. Emotional. That's the title right there. Million views.
But so, and Coop brought up his mom, the scene with his mom, which was beautiful. And after that is when they really stopped making a focus on his body. Like, he put on the armor, he got both the hammer and the axe, which he looked genuinely surprised and happy that he was still worthy of sorry, I almost said it correctly, of Mew Mew.
Mew Mew.
Because I refuse to not call it Mew Mew.
You almost said Mjolnir, so you're still kind of catty.
No, Mjolnir.
I appreciate that.
But it was, yeah, because Kat Denning is a treasure and should be in more movies. But so it's always Mew Mew. So it's just the genuine look of shock and surprise on his face was happy, and I liked that. And at that point, I'm kind of actually glad that they didn't, like, when he got Mew Mew back, that didn't just instantly make him a Norse god again. Like, he still had.
I did like how his beard braided itself, though.
Yes, the braided beard was beautiful, and I wish he'd have kept it.
Yes.
Right.
Also, rip Cap's beard.
Oh yeah.
They even had to show him shaving it off. Like, oh man.
Oh man.
That's the biggest loss of Infinity War, man. People cried over Spider-Man. No, it's Cap's beard.
My husband's beard is gone. Just gone.
How do you guys feel about, because I've seen a lot of stuff posted about this, the scene in the support group where the guy talks about, oh, I met someone and I'm going to be seeing him again next week.
Okay, I have opinions of that. That looked like Bruce Banner. I know it's not.
It was one of the Russos.
Yeah, it was. I was like, man, that looks like Bruce Banner, but I know it's not. I turned to my friend and went, is Hulk gay? Like, what is happening here?
Natasha turned him gay.
Turned the frogs. Oh no, frogs green. Kind of.
I mean,
the water, man. But no, yeah, that was one of the Russo brothers, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I like that, and I love that it was Cap leading that, and that's how Cap coped with everything. Was just trying to help as many people as he can in their own way, because again, the fight's done. Like, this entire movie is about recovery. Like, that is the underlying message of this movie, is recovery. How do you recover from literally the worst thing that could happen in the universe?
You vote in 2020. I mean,
yes.
I mean, we skipped right over that apparently, but there's, that's my political hot take.
But the entire thing was just focused on how these people who, like Josh said, are built like Norse gods, are put up on pedestals, that we are kind of worshiping at their altars. What happens when there's nothing else? How do they recover? How does the universe recover? And that's what this movie was all about. You can either fall into depression and lose yourself, or you can help people in a non-monetary way, or you can take a leadership in the world government because that's where you feel you belong.
Or you can focus on family as well.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can focus on yourself and building up from there, which leads to building up your family.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go on a murderous rampage. Not everybody, but that goes to show you that not everybody deals with loss well. Not everybody deals with recovery well. You're going to have that one person who, when they fall, they can't get up. The fall is too much.
But man, Hawkeye, he's so dumb.
He
I
is,
can
yes.
actually chime in with this.
What was that, Rachel?
I'm actually going to chime in with this.
Okay.
Everybody knows that Thor is one of the strongest Avengers. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
He's a god.
Yeah, he's literally a god.
He's literally a god.
Like, we've seen so many mental health issues take away some of our favorite actors, designers, people that are, normally these happy people that make us laugh and fill our lives with color and all these great things. Having Thor be the one that takes all of this the hardest shows that even though somebody can be as strong as a god in this case, they're probably not handling situations as well as they might portray them to be, what we would expect them to handle situations with.
Thor would have done real good at Captain America's therapy sessions.
Yeah. I mean,
but I would say honestly, though, Hawkeye took the loss worse though, because at least Thor built a town and then lost his way. Hawkeye literally just started murdering people.
But they're trying to take away. It was an attempt to remove the stigma of mental health issues.
And yeah,
right.
Like anybody is susceptible to falling prey to these things.
Yeah, and I think the general consensus here is that it just was framed weirdly because the Russos aren't known for their comedy.
Right, but also
you could have let Taika Waititi take over that part and just let him write like he did on Thor Ragnarok, and maybe not put your Russo spin on things, and maybe hand it off a little bit to have the person who made Thor a relatable character, maybe let him take over the reins a little bit and handle that a little bit better.
Right. I just didn't like the Hawkeye's Creed moment either, like where he was literally turned into an assassin, but Hawkeye's dumb. But anyway.
Well, right. In there's actually I call it the Ronin costume because that is what when he lost his way before, when he was a villain, because Hawkeye started off as a villain. Right. He was a Iron Man villain, right? Yes. He had tried becoming a hero and failed miserably at it because it's fucking Hawkeye, and that's what he does. And took up the mantle as the anti-hero Ronin. Like Ronin, like
Masterless Samurai.
Yeah, exactly. Masterless Samurai, not Ronin the Accuser. Not Purple Pie Maker. So in the comic books, that was his thing. He was an anti-hero for a few years, and it was the costume was really cool, and I like the shout out to him becoming Ronin. It would have been great her calling him that, but I think that would have been confusing to movie watchers who didn't get that because the only Ronin that they know is Ronin the Accuser.
Yeah.
I like Tony taking his loss and creating a family. That was
I like that the comic book callouts were subtle though.
Yes, they absolutely were. Cap saying "Hail Hydra," the call out for the Ronin costume, the subtle hints at Maestro. They did not go heavy-handed on the comic book call-outs, but there were enough there that made me, as a person who follows Marvel continuity pretty carefully, very happy.
And I think they would have had to. And if they made no references to the bleh.
No, we don't reference the comment section.
Do not reference the comment section. Show at geek-io, the only no, I'm just kidding. But please do email show at geek-io.net. But also, if they didn't, there would have been a massive backlash.
Oh yeah.
There would have been a humongous backlash. And we all know this. And there was lots of room in this movie. We haven't even touched on the movie as like, I don't want to say as a movie because that's what we've been doing for the last like over an hour, but like the actual production side of the movie, which there's not much to really nitpick. But
yeah, because this was them having their craft perfected and fucking showing it.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely. This movie is a wet dream to any producer, that we know. But also, it's like when you look at how much room you have in this movie, where you go, we're giving you 3 hours, go. Like we're giving you as long as of a movie as you need.
Yeah.
Is basically how I viewed this on a production level. Do whatever you need to in whatever time you need.
By the way, want to give a shout out to the fact that this was a 3-hour movie and it was not a 3-hour fight scene.
That, yes.
Like
that
I said,
very important.
you had one fight scene pretty much. You had minor fight scenes here and there, but you had one fight scene.
You had fight moments, is what I would phrase.
Exactly. Yeah, fight moments as opposed to a scene. You had
a couple skirmishes and then a battle.
Exactly. And I am so glad that it was not just a 3-hour fight, because that would have been bad. Because you have to wrap up the storyline for a bunch of these characters, because anybody who knows the back stories of these knows that I about called him Luke Evans. Chris Evans' contract was up. Robert Downey Jr.'s contract was up. Droopy Dog's contract was up. Like, the only two that extended their contracts were the two at the end of the movie. Still, the two original at the end of the movie, which is Hulk and Thor. With Black Widow somehow going to be getting her own movie.
It's a prequel.
It's a prequel. It has to. Well,
it's confirmed that it's a prequel from somewhere I read.
As long as Hawkeye's not in.
But yeah, like a 3-hour meat grinder fest would have just been too much. You've got to have the elements of the story woven in there and wrap up people's arcs, establish seeds for the new arcs, because there were scenes of passing the torch on to the next generation of Avengers.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I didn't like about Age of Ultron, was that there was so much fighting throughout the entire movie that it felt kind of like a slog at times.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that was done. I mean, that was done to the detriment of that as well, because like it was just pretty much the entire meat grinder. You didn't have much. And even though they tried to say, hey, we're going to raise the new Avengers coming up next. And I mean, you murdered one of them in the movie. And I mean, we got them going still, but it was just a long fight with little, as opposed to story and then a fight. It was a fight with little bits of story put into it, including that very off the initial fight scene where they're jumping through the trailer fight at the beginning, which was pretty much all that was just the trailer fight, and then James Spader being James Spader. That was the trailer of Age of Ultron, if you remember correctly.
Again, this movie reminded me that Age of Ultron was a movie.
Yeah, no.
So you've got to take that in a grain of salt.
The major thing that I was a bit upset with is they they didn't even the biggest sad thing of this one is Quicksilver's never referenced again.
Right?
Wanda doesn't care. Nobody cares about this kid.
Nope.
Fucking Wanda in this movie, though. Oh my God.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know you.
You will.
Just her being, and like the implication on, like, I want more of her in her movie universe, like how she is in this universe, because she's the power of an Infinity Stone. Like they directly said that she is the only person capable of destroying an Infinity Stone. And I would argue that she's probably stronger than Carol, because Carol is strong, but she's really just an amped up Kree.
She has the power of an Infinity Stone in her. She absorbed the power of the Tesseract.
Yeah.
I mean, and Thanos wielding the gauntlet headbutted her and it did nothing. He had to take the Power Stone into his own hand just to push her away from himself.
That was a cool thing, though, popping the Power Stone out of there and using it real quick. That was cool.
And her face when he just bounces off of her skull and she's just like, yeah, you want to try that again, big guy?
Yeah, how can I help you today? Like, what?
Yeah, but I would imagine that I would like to, just the death battle of power measuring those two together. I think that I believe that she would be technically stronger than, because the Infinity Stones are from the beginning of the universe. Like they, even in this movie, say only Infinity Stones can destroy Infinity Stones. And she broke that damn mind gem. I would like to see like more of her as a character, not just her as an Avenger. Like I hope that
we're getting WandaVision.
We are getting WandaVision. And I sincerely hope they don't fuck that up. Those who are wondering what Josh and I are talking about, on the Disney Plus streaming service coming up this year, we're getting a Wanda Maximoff and Vision story. We don't know where it takes place. Probably between Ultron or Civil War and Infinity War, I would guess.
I'm thinking it takes place after, because we saw Shuri backing Vision up in Infinity War.
Yeah, we just don't know how far she got on it, which was intentional, but I would like to see it go forward, because I would like to see, minus the Loki thing going on, which even the Loki TV series can be the villain Loki, because that's what we're getting. We're getting Avengers 1 Loki, thankfully. Because he just bamfed out of there. There's no reason why he can't be after Thanos.
What happened there? I'm confused by that, by the way. Just
what?
Real quick. About Loki's disappearance.
So there's a Loki television show on that Disney Plus thing that we talked about, and we had to get Tom Hiddleston back in.
Okay. Heard. So sometimes the answer's in the question.
They needed to unkill Loki without unkilling Loki, and so they had the Tesseract retrieval scene go awry, so that Loki gets loose, grabs the Tesseract, and vanishes, instantly creating an alternate timeline where he escaped.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, because we didn't. I'm glad they didn't just overwrite Thanos actually Loki giving a heroic standing at the end of that, going down like a boss straight up into Thanos's face, like
massive middle finger to Thanos.
Yeah, I'm very glad they didn't just overwrite that. So that was handled very well. For a needing to shoehorn in a.
See, I thought there was some like comic book reference, but obviously, hey, there's a thing, you guys. We need to like. There's a streaming service called Disney Plus. Has anyone heard about it on set? All right, how can we undo Loki? We're undoing Loki. We're up all night to undo Loki. That was a weird noise. That was my chair.
It is all right. So it's midnight. So we're gonna go around the table here really quick, and best and least favorite and least favorite things of the movie that we thought. Let's start with Dale. You're in the middle.
I am in the middle. Hi, it's Daily in the middle. I have a joke answer and I have a serious answer. My favorite thing in this movie, America's Ass. My least favorite thing in the movie, Hawkeye. My serious answer is my least favorite thing in this movie was Hawkeye. Shocker there. My favorite thing was Chris Evans. No. Favorite thing of the movie. I feel like I was watching this movie and I feel like it's weird to say it like this, but my favorite part of the movie was the storytelling. Like the effectiveness of bringing together all of these stories and having it not be a collection of these stories, but having these stories told out in a proper way and not having it feel rushed. It's weird. Like I've got these little moments that I love in the movie, but my favorite part of the movie is the movie. Like I know that doesn't make any sense, but it's the entirety of the production and like the freedom that this movie has to do literally anything it wants. Like there was no boundaries on this movie.
Yeah. We're going to make all of the money, do whatever the hell you want to with it.
But honestly, fuck Hawkeye. I'm just kidding.
Seriously though. Rachel.
Least favorite thing, the fridge. The fact that they fuck you, Hawkeye. How dare you fridge her?
Yes, that's yeah.
Like that immensely pissed me off. And favorite thing, other than all my ladies lined up moment, the effects in that scene. The Doctor Strange's time warp effects on a level of, oh my god, completely flawless. Like I was blown away, and I'm sitting there watching everybody pour through the portals, and I'm like, and Wakanda's all there.
Yep.
Carrie?
Favorite thing, the payoff. Seeing the ladies line up, seeing all those portals open up one by one and people coming through, getting the science dad hug. You know, just that entire last sequence was the culmination of our entire nerd lives since, 2012? Earlier? 2008 was the first Iron Man.
2008 was Iron Man 1.
And to finally get to see all of this payoff in such spectacular, beautiful fashion, to watch the fight and see, oh, there's so-and-so, and there's so-and-so, and see, actually be able to follow the action for fucking once in an epic battle scene, go figure. You know, it wasn't just all shaky cam and disgustingness. You know...
You got a little bay leaf stuck in your teeth there, Carrie.
Yeah.
Worst starter.
Least favorite thing? As much as it was awesome having everybody together caused a few narrative hiccups. Like, we get this huge setup for Captain Marvel to be the secret weapon in Infinity War, and because number one, she's too powerful to be there for the whole movie, and number two, it's the sign-off for the original Avengers, most of them, you can't really have her around for most of the movie. So that felt like a little bit of a letdown, although seeing all of the cannons on Thanos' ship point upward just to deal with her was fantastic. Also, can we just have Captain Marvel punch through spaceships in every movie?
Right?
But things like, you know, where was Okoye during all of this? She's just kind of shown standing around in the background because all of the characters who are leaving need to have their moments. And I get that, but it was still like, okay, where's Captain Marvel? Where's so-and-so? Where's, you know, this person? That it's just not possible to show everything you want to, but so that one little bit of payoff with Captain Marvel didn't feel great. I feel like Natasha wasn't served well at all.
No.
Through the entire Avengers series, pretty much, because she's pretty much a different person in every movie because every director takes her in a different direction, and then in the end she's fridged. But
Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, just overall that glorious entrance of everybody all onto the same stage was
highlight of the movie had to be the fact that the movie exists as a whole. It's a 3-hour plus film that just slides through. It doesn't feel ridiculously long. It doesn't feel congested. It doesn't feel like it's dragging through some plot points. It moves, it moves, it moves. The fact that we had the wool completely pulled over our eyes by the trailer, and the entirety of the trailer we saw was pretty much the first half hour of the movie.
Yeah.
That, you know, that delightful twist. The freaking performance out of Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Just the sheer range he displayed throughout that entire movie. Up to and culminating, I think, in his complete and total flip out on the Avengers. You know, ripping off his arc reactor, just his complete and total fucking doneness with everything. And then to see him be this loving, supportive, caring father figure. Like, just everything was handled so well. And then there was Hawkeye, but
yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, like, yeah, I think much as I very vocally proclaimed against the bit with Thor, I think the worst part of the movie was the soul gem retrieval. Because just no.
Yeah.
We saw, even though we hated the guy, we saw just how much having to get the Soul Stone meant with Thanos in Infinity War. You could see the pain in his face, but knowing that he had to do what he thought he had to do. You know, the fact that his loss was felt by Mantis. Just the disparity there was too massive.
Yeah.
Like there's no way either of them should have been able to claim the soul gem from the other.
Yeah.
Like maybe if Hawkeye had thrown his bow off the cliff.
Yeah. And Nebula knew this, and she's just like, yeah, you two go on ahead.
Yeah.
And didn't tell them fucking anything.
Throw himself off the cliff because he's so in love with himself.
Right.
You know, like
Mason agrees.
If he had like, you know, a locket that had his wife's picture in it or something like that, something that actually really meant something to him, that he was really sacrificing, that would have been okay. But yeah, the fact that they just phoned it in Fridge Widow is like, really? It was bad enough with Gamora in Infinity War, but can we stop the fridging already?
Yeah. Right. So mine, Dale made a joke earlier of saying his favorite thing was a person and his least favorite thing was a person. It's actually true for me.
No, actually, no. My favorite thing was a part of a person, and my least favorite thing was a universal concept.
So I'm done with Hawkeye's identity. Like, we fridged Black Widow, we killed Quicksilver, we've ended a lot of different things for Hawkeye, and this movie did not redeem him at all in it. They even tried making him a redeeming quality in it with him holding the torch at the end. My least favorite thing of every single Avengers movie has always been Hawkeye, will always be Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. Fuck Droopy Dog. I'm done. If he's in the Black Widow movie, I will not see it on principle because they fridged Black Widow for him. I am that entire character. I don't know what Kevin Feige has for Hawkeye, but give it up, man. Quit trying to make Hawkeye work. It's never going to work.
Yeah, he doesn't even wear pink anymore.
Right?
No.
My favorite thing in the movie was a person. It was Tony. It was Tony Stark. From the loving letter to Pepper to the teaching this robot how to actually have a friend, who this woman who has seen nothing but combat and strife and hatred from everything around her suddenly has a friend, to coming back and justifiably spitting in the face of this positivity that's thrown at him because he's been stuck in space for days, for weeks now. And he takes that and realistically handles it with the I'm not doing this again. He has PTSD, not only one, by getting the shit kicked out of him by Thanos, literally almost dying from him, but seeing everybody there, including his surrogate son, being ripped away from him because he knew what happened here. He didn't even get to see it. In his eyes, Cap failed. Not only did he fail, but the people he placed faith in failed. And he didn't know how to deal with that. Coming out of that and becoming this father who is a good, loving, caring father. And it was never expressly stated, and I'm glad that it wasn't, but I'm glad that it kind of felt like I need to do this not only for her, but for Peter. Because it is very obvious that that was a father-son relationship. No ifs, ands, or buts. And from there to sacrifice everything and have it feel emotional, have it feel impactful. It wasn't just getting sniped off the side of a bridge. It was an impact, and it was fucking badass. I am inevitable. I am Iron Man.
Iron Man, right.
Just, oh my God. Everything about Tony in this movie was fantastic, and I loved this as a swan song for him. I've been pretty dour on Tony through the years, but this movie was such a good swan song for him, and I'm glad that he existed in it. And also, since I can put it in the show title and not feel bad, no, but seriously, F Hawkeye.
F Hawkeye.
I think what finally sealed it for Tony is the fact that when he went back and had that interaction with his dad.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, having him get back and having him closing the doors on his father, having him see Peter again. The first thing that he thinks of when he sees Peter is just to hug him. Like,
right. That
was powerful.
That was great. That part of the movie particularly was brilliant as
and
well.
It was just this hellscape around them.
Right. It was like there's literally a war going on, but here, let's have this moment and
this
have everyone
father-son moment that needed to happen.
Because people in the movie theater haven't cried in 5 minutes. We'll give them this.
Like that happened, and that's where my tears started coming, and I'm like rooting and hollering and happy, and then like tearing up and then crying again. I'm like, God damn, this fucking superhero movie.
I think I laughed, screamed, and cried all in like the span of like a minute and a half.
Yes. It was great in our theater when T'Challa showed up and started doing the battle hymn again. We had people in the theater doing the battle hymn with him, myself included, because fuck yeah, I'm going to. And like it was like bravo to the theater experience that we had too. Studio Movie Grill, seriously, hit me up, my dudes. CJ at geek-io.net.
Right. We actually, I had a good one. I was at City Walk. That's where I saw it. Yeah,
you went to the competition. Ooh.
We went to a movie theater that, yeah. Anyway,
but no, there was one other baby, and we brought Grayson.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Grayson was a badass during that movie too. Like, it was great. One of the few times that he cried was during the funeral scene where everybody else in the theater was crying. All of a sudden, Grayson starts crying too, and the person like down diagonal from us goes, "I feel you, little dude," and like tears are streaking down his face.
My least favorite thing about the my movie theater experience was the teenagers behind us providing commentary the entire time. They're like, yeah, we know what's happening because we literally just saw it. Like, I don't know why you're repeating the movie. Like, it's like, is there a parrot in here? Like, what is? Because
yeah, we had an incredibly inebriated woman.
Oh Jesus!
At the end of our show. And yeah, I hope she had a ride home.
There's that. Plus, also, you could really get drunk in a 3-hour movie. Not that I did. And please drink responsibly. But also, if you choose to partake in that lifestyle choice, there's one for you.
Yes, Scribbles. The fact that the kid from Iron Man 3 was at the funeral.
Yes.
And people in the movie theater were like, "Who's that? Who's that?" I was like, "It's the kid who dressed up as Iron Man in Iron Man 3. Do your homework. Come on, kids. Come on."
Yeah. It was Iron Man. It was Iron Man's movie. You're right, but they did it well, at least. We should Tito this because it's late.
It's getting there. It's warming up.
All right, so Tito scale, for those who don't know, it's our obligatory 0 through 10 scale. We can do half points, but that's all we're going to get into here. All right.
Okay. Well.
So, all right. I've said time and time again, a 10 is very hard for me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a perfect movie. But when I leave the theater and I immediately want to go back and watch it again, and I almost did, there were missteps, yes, but none to bring the movie down from me to not just give this movie a 10. The swan song of being an 11-year love letter, including to Stan Lee, who was anti-war to the end, and his final cameo being Make Love, Not War.
Make Love, Not War, right.
Like, that is his last cameo. There's nothing else. And god damn, that's a good one to go out on. If he's not going to go out on the Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse one, that's a really good, subtle one. So yeah, I'm just going to give it a 10. Fuck it. I'm not even apologizing for this one. Rachel.
Like you said, there were a couple missteps. There were a couple things. I am very angry with the fridging. I could not get past that. So mine won't get a 10, but it will have a 9.5, strictly because fucking Black Widow should not have been thrown off that. There was no serious emotional connection that was soul crushing for Hawkeye to lose her. Hawkeye could have just jumped off the cliff and I would have given it a 10, but somehow that motherfucker keeps living through the friggin' movies.
He didn't even see her when he woke up in the Soul Gem. In the Soul Gem universe, he didn't even see her.
No. He had no reason to earn the Soul Gem by dropping her. Now, granted, yes, she did let go of his hand. So there's that. And she saved him. Don't know why.
Yeah, but why though?
Don't know why.
Don't know why, but why though?
So, I mean, there's that. But no, I will give it a 9.5. And obviously, it's got to be the bottom because it's that's America's ass.
That's America. There we go.
Hey, Dale.
Hey, CJ. This movie. Okay, so back on that other point, I was gonna phrase something differently there, but I was gonna wait till my turn. I feel like if Black Widow, okay, it would have been a different story if Hawkeye was the one to fall off the cliff, because I feel like he wouldn't have done it for the greater good, and I feel like Black Widow fell off the cliff for the greater good. So that is my devil's advocate for that scene. By the way, anyway, sidebar. Um, this movie is just, it's not flawless, but it's damn close. And I think it's the closest that we're going to get in probably a long time. For this movie to be as sort of epic as it is an on-screen epic.
Oh yeah,
and
in every sense of the word.
In every sense of the word, and like we've got things that we haven't probably had time to touch on, because this again would be a 9-hour episode, and we all have sleep to do. That's a weird way to phrase that, but like
I think I need to use the sleep.
You use the sleep, considering I've been splooshing in puddles all day, but that's not the point. It's
moist daily.
Everything. we. Everything, like every little element of this movie comes together as one whole movie, and I don't think, and I'm trying to think about it, this might be my favorite Marvel movie thus far. And I know that's probably a cop out in a way, where it's my favorite Marvel movie. However, this is an ensemble movie, and I don't think that that's fair.
Yeah.
It's one asterisk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For now, until who knows what the next phase will bring, because the next movie coming out is Spider-Man, right?
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is the next one.
Man, that's going to be an interesting movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering how much you hated the first one.
I actually technically haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet, by the way. I don't know why. I need to fix that. And like yesterday, probably.
Yes, it is an amazing movie. When you're here next, we'll watch it.
Okay. I don't doubt that it's a great movie, but Homecoming. Anyway. I'm getting off track. I don't think, and someone can cross-check me here, I don't think any movie that we've done a review has warranted a 10 from me, but this one has certainly earned it. So it's getting a 10 from me.
All right. Daily given the 10-y. Carrie.
Alrighty, so yeah, like we've all been saying, this was a climax 10, 11 years in the making. Brilliantly done, brilliantly executed. Having that many people in a movie together, finally getting the payoff that we've been waiting for so long, and finally getting a lot of things that we've needed out of that. The ladies lineup, seeing Tony make it full circle from dickwad to lovable human being.
That's my tagline.
But also there were things like the fridging. Twice, because we can't ignore, even though it's a separate movie, I can't ignore the fact that we lost Gamora. But
oh my God,
the fridging of Black Widow stings a lot, because she wasn't treated well throughout the entire MCU. And also, they didn't even make an effort to avoid it. But it was still a fantastic movie, so I'm gonna give it a 9.5 as well. Top half, because something just entered the upper atmosphere.
And Josh.
It has been a hell of a ride with phases 1 through 3. And yeah, this thing is the crown to 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Lord only knows how much they actually have planned to milk this cash cow. But this is something that I never really thought we'd get to. You know, growing up reading comic books, the comic books were something I found in a milk crate in the kids section of the local library.
Nice.
They weren't even properly handled and displayed. They were just in a pile in milk crates in the kiddie corner of the local library growing up. And I would get as many as I could carry. I'd take them home. I'd read them. It didn't matter if they made any sequential sense whatsoever. They were the kind of stories that I loved. And yeah, we had a few superhero movies throughout early teens, but none of them were to really this scope. The Fantastic Four movies were a thing that happened.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man movies were mostly okay. We don't talk about that one.
Yeah, Sam Raimi, the two Sam Raimi ones were good. Those were the only two that came out there, right?
We don't talk about that one.
I liked
but
what was it? Amazing Spider-Man.
My dad's generation of geeks, he had the first Superman movie. And that was groundbreaking for its time. You know, I think he used to tell me one of the taglines for the movie was "You'll believe a man can fly."
Yes.
And that was the thing is, you know, now we've got this strong ability to portray these things that never would have happened. Because you go back and you watch Superman now, those special effects are laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Compare that to, you know, entire characters that have been rendered by computer. You know, molded over a person covered in green with little ping pong balls strapped to them. That we can have, you know, these absolutely massive, sprawling fantasy landscapes where we can see these characters that we've grown up loving coming to life and being living things. Like, we've come a long way from Superman, you know, the perfect Boy Scout who can do no wrong and is completely and utterly invincible because all he has to do is put super in front of something and it's a goddamn new superpower for him.
Super Saran wrap.
Looking at you, Super Knitting. And yes, it was a thing.
It was a thing.
That's how we can get those socks.
But yeah, it's absolutely fantastic that this is a thing that we all got to see and experience and have all of these emotions stemming from comic books.
Yeah, because nobody gave a shit about Iron Man before 2008, man.
I mean, I thought he was cool, but that's because I love mechanical things.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, I thought he was cool too, but I was much more of a Vision man.
But yeah, then we've got... It just blows my mind a little bit that this is a thing that happened and it's now done. Like, yeah, we've got Phase 4 and whatever coming up, but the Infinity Saga is over.
Yeah.
This was it. And it was the crowning jewel. There were a couple of missteps, but like I said, it was a goddamn 3-hour plus movie. And it was gone like that.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
I also really wish I knew the shortcut to quit the movie on the, or quit the Zoom call on the quick. Snap, disappear.
I mean, Alt F4 will do it.
Yeah, but it'll ask you if you want to leave. So it's one of those things that you have to
have to prepare and commit to. But yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was so good. So many payoffs. The mostly good blend of seriousness and humor.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's not a 1 to 6 rating because it'd be a perfect 6. But it's definitely a 10, even with the few things I hated about it. There was just so much more to love about it, and the promise that it speaks of going forward.
Yeah, apparently the next MCU movie is The Eternals in 2020. I mean,
outside of the ones that we already know about.
Yes, but Spider-Man obviously is the next one technically, but Spider-Man's solo movie is kind of always that distant cousin of the MCU. Like some people don't consider it fully canon, yada yada yada. So that one, but the next one where like what is probably going to launch Phase 4 as a entity is the Eternals in 2020, unless we get Fox stuff rolled into this.
I hope so, because we could use, because don't get me wrong, I liked the Fantastic Four movies when I was younger.
They're campy dumb fun.
They were campy dumb fun. But I want to see a Fantastic
Dale's
Four
internet died, by the way. Oops.
I want to see a Fantastic Four movie done this way.
Yeah, because we are going to get Marvel movies, quote unquote, before then. We have New Mutants coming out this year. We have Spider-Man Far From Home. We have Morbius coming out. Oh, that's 2020. Never mind.
Morbius, the living vampire.
Yes. So we have other Marvel movies coming out this year. X-Men Dark Phoenix is the next one in June. And then July is Spider-Man, and then August is New Mutants. But from what I'm seeing, the launching point for Phase 4 was going to be Guardians 3, but that's in development hell right now. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up because it is very late. And I have to be up at 5 a.m. Yay, me. So this is a 9.8, by the way, average. Well-deserved. Well-deserved indeed. Remember, you can listen to the show live Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, over at twitch.tv/Geek Show. What? Dale comes in, starts talking. I don't know what's going on. You can email the show at geek-io.net. All of our social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, are all Geek IO Show. You can give us a call and leave us a voicemail, 727-489-4335. That is 727-489-GEEK. Remember that we do have a Discord that you can hang out with us anytime, day or night. Head over to geek-io.net/Discord. You can support this stream and everything that we do by going over to patreon.com/geekio. If you pair your Discord and your Patreon account, you get access to our patron-only lounge where you can talk about things that nobody else will be able to talk about earlier than anybody else can. You also get a master feed that is ad-free. Yeah, also, if you can't afford to go to Patreon, and I understand that you can't, but you happen to have Amazon Prime, head over to our Twitch channel and give us a little Prime subscription. It's free for you and brings money into us and doesn't cost you anything else. And we greatly appreciate everybody's support. Thus, leading us into the SmackDown update.
Which I never got the bumper for. So, ding, ding, ding.
Now it's time for the Summer Movie SmackDown update.
Walter Cronkite. All right, so starting the run is Ugly Dolls from Monica, which seems to be adorable. Entering its second week, of course, is Avengers Endgame. And ending its run this week is Curse of La Llorona, which made $12 and a taco. It's not racist, just because it's a Hispanic movie. Don't at me. It's a thing I've said about other movies.
Did it make any tacos?
Yes. It's a thing I've said about other movies, not just this one. I understand the insensitive. I don't know why I'm drilling on this because I'm tired. All right. So placements. Coming at nobody's surprise. I am currently in first place.
Leaping to the top of the charts in a single bound.
Yeah.
Because you sure as hell didn't get there from La Llorona.
Nope. I mean, La Llorona has actually performed fairly well. It's netted me $43 million so far. So, it's netted me almost $4 million on its own. But I am at $14.3 million. Avengers giving me $10 million of that money. Raul's in second place with $6.9 million. Josh is in third place with $6 million. Carrie is in fourth place with $5 million. Monica is in fifth place with $3 million. And Bud Long is waiting for his first movie, which is coming up in a couple of weeks with The Hustle next week.
The Hustle.
Do the hustle.
Sorry. I thought I got snapped up there for a bit, but hey, I'm back. Look at me go.
I still feel I have very good plan. I might actually win my first SmackDown, Dale.
What?
Between this and Toy Story.
Okay, bye. I think I'm.
All right.
are getting there. You might. Who knows?
Admittedly, I have this and Toy Story.
You might.
And whatever the fuck late night is.
You got the thrust. We'll see if the arc can carry you through.
Yeah, exactly.
The movie called Late Night that I am going to go see. I'm going to see whatever that is. It's a Dale movie through and through.
Probably.
It's a Dale movie.
All right, Josh, what's been going on this week?
This week on the Geek I Media Network, the shadows died twice more, and then twice more, and then twice more.
So much dying.
It's almost multiplicative.
I beat an old woman.
Ooh. A special hydration version of Liquid Handicap.
Because I was
CJ.
I had pain pills, and I can't.
Yeah, don't mix alcohol with those. It's a bad idea.
I was loopy enough with my pain pills, with drinking the tea, much less if I did anything stupid with alcohol.
Never a good idea, folks.
No, but I finally beat the old woman, which made me happy.
Hooray, beating the elderly.
She was a bitch. Then I beat up a bull. No, beating up the bull was off camera.
On the Anime Otaku Show, we kept going with our crew so far with Kimetsu no Yaiba, Fruits Basket, One Punch Man, and Ultraman. Which series will be leaving the lineup? Find out.
Yeah.
And with the first wave of battles over, it's time for our intrepid heroes to take a much-deserved break. There are a lot of loose ends to tie up, questions to answer, and breakfast pastries? Will Z and Katrine never make it out of their office? What will Elle make next? Will Jack ever get that drink? And who is Kevin? And what does he have to do with all this? Find out this week on Exploding Dice.
Kevin, big bad evil guy.
Kevin is the hero, and you know it.
Nope, villain. Full villain. And it's all because of Rickus. So
Kevin here, you're all toast.
We've had a few show titles put in there because we've been busy talking about the show, and not a lot of people in chat were talking about. We have people talking in chat, but nobody put show titles in there. So hey, Carrie, what do we got in the show titles?
So we've got I'm Affidavit of Smell, Five Nights at Sonic, What's on Your Left, spoilers, Play Fortnite, spoilers emotional, We're Up All Night to Undo Loki, No But Seriously F Hawkeye, and Beating the Elderly.
I do like Play Fortnite, spoilers emotional, because it makes no sense.
So far we have We're Up All Night to Undo Loki.
Which is good too. I love that title.
I am pretty partial to Five Nights at Sonic.
Guys.
I mean, you can vote for it.
Hey,
I have it set to be like 5 people can vote for things.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
We've made it into an entire episode of the Geek I Show and not one Dale title. We're so proud of ourselves.
Da, 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 da.
All right, Loki takes the win, as he does. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. If you want to, nope, I already did that. We will see. I'm very tired. Good night. We love you. Bye.
Hey, it was good to meet you.
Nice having you, Dale.
Bye.
You have been listening to a Geek I.O. Media Network, LLC production. Would you like to convert that to pounds? Copyright 2019.